Now I know people are going to say, Dana, it's too depressing and I can't deal with it. And don't you dare say that to yourself, right? The nuclear industry is toast. You know, they got a guilty conscience at this stage when they catch this, when they find out about this. And like everything else don't matter anymore. Wars don't matter anymore. The divide, the race, the religion, you know, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Your wealth doesn't matter to you anymore. You can trust me on that. Your assets are worthless unless you try and resolve what we got. You have to try to move on. There's 4,300 peer-reviewed academic studies every day. Don't you dare tell yourself that there's nothing we can do. Don't do that. Because we can if we decide we're going to. And we're not asking, we're telling them. We're taking it back. That's the way it's going to be. We gave you every opportunity and all the equipment, everything you ever needed in the system out there to guard us against this, and you failed us. You abrogated every responsibility you've ever had. We let you get away with it, and so we blame ourselves. But now we're here, and now we got you, and now there's no turning back, and now you have to join us, or we're going to get rid of you and move on.
Too late.
It's not too late. We don't give up. That's what we're known for. But what you're seeing is the ocean is not giving up either. And you better not. You better hang in tight. And I know this is the shock. This is the nightmare. This is the broken dreams and the heartaches. But this is not the end of us. And it goes on. Right? We go on. But we go on now that we take back control. We take back authority. And we have the distrust, unfortunately, and rightly so, that they have earned. They have their checks and balances, if they exist any longer, will be scrutinized beyond imagination from here on out till the end of time.
You can name the starfish now.
You can name the starfish on the beaches and remember the names, yeah? Right? You can really do it. And you can see little patches in the nooks and crannies of stuff trying to survive. And if I show you everything I got here, that is all you're going to see. On every beach, in every document of everywhere we went, it was this cabbage kelp barely hanging on anywhere. It was rags and nothing else. It has a special broadcast, and the pictures you're looking behind me are homeostasis. You need to look that up yourself so you can understand what the word actually means. Just like everybody else on the planet, they got to look the word up. Every academic who ever heard the word had to learn it, same as me. Every academic that ever went to school and learned about radiation is no different than anybody else or me or anybody else. That's what we do. We go and we learn the same material. Just because we didn't go to the same school, does that make it different? Does that somehow magically make it because they went to university before they continue on? Okay, we got audio. But because the scientists went to university, they're allowed to say that water and potatoes is like man-made ionized radiation, and that's okay. And that's okay. But for me to come out and tell the truth and say it's not, makes me a bad person.
But this thing with them attacking Dana, man, it has crystallized my support of Dana Durnford. Has crystallized my support for activists putting themselves out there, speaking the truth to power.
For me to come out and say that a banana got nothing to do with radiation somehow makes me a bad person. Have you got any idea what that actually means? That means the entire society is literally and figuratively stupid. That by me saying it's not a banana is homeostasis and got nothing to do with a chain reaction makes me a liar. That I got people attacking me and saying a banana is equal to man-made radiation. And they can't prove it. There's nobody made a video and come out and call me out like I'm doing it with everybody else. Nobody will stand behind that camera. No media will come out and tell me and everybody else that I'm wrong and the banana got nothing to do with man-made radiation. Not a single person in the media will do that because they can't. Not a single university will come out and tell you, they'll all tell you that. They'll all say, oh, it's banana, it's like a banana, it's like potato chips, it's like water. Everything in the media will tell you that. And that has nothing to do with this. Why do you think that I do what I do? Do you think that this model of just cesium in the first 40 days from just #1 reactor is like bananas? Why are you attacking me when all I'm trying to do is your jobs? Why are people just trying to destroy me when they can't even walk down to the shoreline and check it themselves? I got Jessica Stevenson here in Powell River, who has done everything in the book to destroy me because she's too stupid to walk down on the shoreline 8 seconds away from her house and look into a tide pool. The whales, the porpoise, the big fish are further up the food chain like humans, you morons. You idiots. What we studied was the filter feeders in the tide pools. They're the most vulnerable. That is the nursery. What you're seeing, do you think that is bananas and potato chips and potassium-40? Because that's what you're doing by attacking me and trying to destroy the only person out there who will go out and take pictures. And if there's life there, I'm going to be the guy that looks like an idiot. Right? And we're going to go, and if there's life, they publish that day on the site. How does that make me a bad person? But if there's no life, that will be published too. And I am not the bad person for taking a picture to find out. How the fuck did I become a bad person? By saying that the man-made radiation is nothing like a banana. That's homeostasis. It's like the autopilot on your car, where it controls the speed of your car. It's like the thermostat in your house. That's what potassium-40. You can't get any more in your body. Your Geiger counter cannot pick up banana potassium-40. Your Geiger counters cannot pick up potassium-40 in water. Your Geiger counters can't pick up potatoes. And so everything you see on a Geiger counter is a man-made ionized radiated element, and Becquerel and particles and atoms and everything else. I'm so sick of this. Nothing will stop me. Nothing is going to stop us from going taking pictures. How did we become bad people for wanting to go on the ocean and take pictures? How the freak did we become bad people for wanting to go on the ocean and take pictures? How is it that I'm the bad person because I want to go out and see what's there because they told us for 70 years that it's like potatoes and like water? Yeah, I'm yelling. It's distorting. I guess it is. I'm so friggin' upset. I'm so friggin' upset that not a single person will come out and defend me and tell the truth that a banana and potato chips and water got nothing to do with man-made radiation. You can't get a media to say it. You can't get anybody out there to say that. I'm just so upset. Let me turn it down for you. This is about yelling at the morons. And I know, people are like, why are you doing that, Dana? Because it's not for you, it's for them. So they can see they drove me crazy. But they finally knocked me off the deep edge. To the point where I just don't care anymore. I'm going to go do what I'm going to do. You can't expect me to go do this with nothing in my pocket. How the fuck is that ever going to happen? How the fuck is anybody ever going to do anything without some equipment? I have to beg for everything. We still don't have our cameras. We only got one. We got 2 more people. We got a skipper for the boat, and we got a guide for insects. Because we're trying to do the best we can. But we got nothing. We got a boat, we got equipment, the basics to be safe. That's 30 grand. To go for 90 days into the wild where no one's going to be to help us. Are we supposed to go on a log with a tarp? Woods Hole Oceanographic will have a 600-foot ship and submarines and helicopters and float planes and millions of dollars for a budget. And they won't tell you nothing. They won't show you nothing. They'll talk about tuna, way up the food chain. I'm so upset to the point where I don't even know if I'm going to do comments on my videos anymore. I just can't deal with it anymore. The constant attacks, and that nobody can come out and say, Dana, here. Like me. They can't walk down there, point the camera at themselves, pile it down at a tide pool in that 200-kilometer stretch and show anything different than we did. And because I have almost 14,000 hours in the ocean, that's more than any professor, that's more than any academic, that's more than any scientist in the nuclear industry. In both oceans. Because my entire life was about the ocean. And I got injured. Was that my fault? Was I a bad person because I'm in a wheelchair? Does that make me less of a person? According to Jessica Stevenson and the shops in town here, and all the nuclear apologists, because I'm in a wheelchair, I'm not worthy of having a voice. And they don't have the nerve to make a video and come out and say that, but they have the audacity to make hundreds of accounts to attack me with, and never with any substance, never with any context, never without going down and refuting what I said, but by saying, well, we see whales. Because they're further up the food chain. The microbiology of the ocean is the first affected. I just want to punch one of these people so hard. I want to smash them. I really do. Because they're destroying our only opportunity, our only ability, our only hope. And it's not really a hope. They got the ocean killed. That you can't turn off Fukushima. They think that the jet streams are not real. That 3 days later we didn't get loaded. They think that the models are something I created. I'll turn it down a bit more. I can't apologize for who I am and for my personality, and neither can anybody else. But when you go to be a professor, or you become a scientist, a nuclear scientist, or a pundit on the media, and the media can't even say that a potato chip got nothing to do with man-made ionized radiation, why shouldn't we just hang them in the street? Why shouldn't we gut them? Why shouldn't we set them on fucking fire? Because what they're doing is destroying everything sacred. Every species on this friggin' ocean is going to be dead, period. There's nothing in the low tide zones. What the fuck do you think that means? How long do you think you can hide away? Do you think the world will just march on because that's missing? Do you understand what's actually going on here? Just because someone's not firing bullets at you don't mean you're not under attack. That you only have a few years at best of this la-la fantasy land and continuing on. The repercussions from a dead Pacific Ocean is something else. And we don't even try. And the only voice that will come out and stand tall and push back like nothing, like they are nothing. I'll push through them like butter. Because it's easy. A banana got nothing to do with it. Potatoes got nothing to do with it. Water, and listen to Kim Buesler.
5,000 miles from Fukushima.
What do you mean 5,000 miles from Fukushima? Hang on. This, in 130 days, hits our coastline, and for 129 days behind it is another plume. Every day, 1,440 minutes a day is plume coming out of Fukushima. And the viciousness and the maniacal nut jobs want to wait till it's completely too late, till there's absolutely no option, ever, until everybody is just in chaos, before they say, yeah, it's dead. Well, you will be hung in the streets. You will be fucking hunted down and murdered. And so you should. Why shouldn't we? Look what you've done.
He's sharing information. He's a self-educated citizen journalist, citizen scientist, and that is what the nuclear cartel hates. They have been lying to us for 70 years. They lied to us for 20 years and didn't tell us there was nuclear waste. So this is a book for Ken Buesler, and this is a book for Jake Cullen. This is a book these guys need to read. So if the nuclear shells are out there spying on my videos, You can just pass the name of this book along. Radiation and Human Health, a comprehensive investigation to the evidence of low-level radiation to cancer and other diseases. A definitive scientific book that these guys could comprehend and ought to understand.
Okay, and welcome back. We are in hour 3 already on Monday, the 3rd week in November. And we've covered a lot of ground. We're going to cover more this hour with Yoichi, who is standing by in Hong Kong. Mr. Shimatsu, are you there, sir?
Yes, good to hear from you. Sorry about my absence. I do have to pursue other projects to keep myself afloat.
Financially afloat. Yes.
Well, I work. I'm unlike many of these people who seem to comment a lot about that. There's nothing to worry about Fukushima, and they seem to be have no shortage of raising funds from places. Unlike the rest of us who have to do sort of menial editing and all kinds of technical writing. That's
I don't want to name
very exciting.
Any names, but some faculty member at a university in Canada probably doesn't have to worry about money too much. Some people at Woods Hole probably don't have to worry about money too much. I want to congratulate you and thank you for the article that you wrote about Dana's plight. It's extraordinary. It's right up there at the top of updates.
Yeah.
Fukushima's political fallout puts anti-nuke researcher on trial. Please read that. Support Dana Durnford, who I hope is standing by. We'll get to him. Are you there, Dana?
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't know if my mic is working.
It's working fine. You're just
good
fine.
To hear from you, Dana. Hope your spirits are up.
JDR, after reading your article, Yoichi, that was wonderful, my friend. Just absolutely amazing. Everybody sent it to me. It's moving around all over the net. Really, truly made a difference, Big Tony.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Although, it's nothing extraordinary. It's just a presentation of the simple facts that you've turned up out of the ocean.
Yeah,
it's just simple facts, the truth that we've been living with. And since I've known you, Dana, for the last couple of years, it's nothing extraordinary. Just what we do. And what we do is like the roof's coming down, right? It's like the courts are interfering. And then as we dig around, we're finding out that, it's not just Canada's involved. We got the whole darn Pentagon, the weight of the Pentagon behind it. And we're finding out a lot of
very ugly
aspects about your accusers. Ken Buesler, this is what really shocked me, that Ken Buesler's first trip out there after Fukushima was funded by the Naval Research Lab, the U.S. Navy. And why did the U.S. Navy send out a team after that? Because they knew darn well that the entire crew of the Ronald Reagan, an aircraft carrier, more than 2,000 U.S. servicemen had been exposed to serious levels of radiation, plutonium, when they're out there in Operation Tomodachi trying to help the Japanese people who were hit by the tsunami. They were gathering some sort of fake data to try to basically get rid of the Ronald Reagan sailors.
That was the first stage. That was the first stage of the cover-up. You're right.
Yes, Ken Buesler was there on a Navy grant to be out there with Navy personnel.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like we've heard of Gulf War syndrome. We've heard of Agent Orange affecting U.S. veterans and so on, But to hear that less than a year after Fukushima, they sent out a team from the Naval Research Lab, from their Navy scientists were sent out there to do in more than 2,000 U.S. sailors who were there to help the Japanese people. That, to me, is beyond
that's where the Reagan cover-up...
It's so morally unacceptable. Huh?
That was the Reagan cover-up, the beginning of the full effort to hide, and it didn't last. You got dead people now.
Yeah, until your case, Dana, until we started digging around who Ken Buesler was. We didn't realize that. We just thought he was just a relatively honest scientist with a little bit of bias that was very cautious and conservative and didn't want to stick his neck out and was, living off a National Science Foundation grant. We didn't realize he's with the U.S. Navy, and he was part of this cover-up to basically kill off the members of the Reagan, deny them medical care, and just get rid of them.
Typical veterans
the same thing
treatment.
TEPCO is doing to the residents of Fukushima.
That's
the exact
right.
same thing.
They
just want to get rid of any survivors so that there's no evidence left and there's no testimony.
We should point out that. Let me point out, Yoshi, that I don't want to put Dana on the spot and have him say anything that's going to get him in trouble.
Right.
So we'll do the talking. We're not involved with Canadian law.
That's right.
So that's why the article's written. Dana, go ahead.
I can't confirm or deny anything, so on that side of it. But I am heading down tomorrow to my second court appearance. And so after reading that article, Yoshi, there's just so many ideas and there's so much documentation there. I think personally that was totally brilliant because they got no way of defending anything you said there, and it just lays out the case for any lawyer or any judge. And it kind of goes further than anything I might have said. And like all I really do sometimes is I get excited, but I overemphasize things. I get excited in order to try to get some attention. It's salacious what I do. It's the equivalent of stopping traffic on a highway, getting out on the roof and screaming what this issue is, and getting arrested for it, but finally getting some attention for it. That's really all I'm doing. I'm so looking forward to going down there and dealing with these people. I can't wait to get them on the stand. I can't wait for them to get me on the stand. I can't wait for the judge or the jury to hear the video in full. I mean, they only took a little tiny soundbite and used that against me without no pictures or no contexts or no sentences before or after. But 1 hour presentation, I managed to get a judge to sign away my freedoms on that. And so your article is the first thing I'm showing lawyers and judges, and I still haven't been able to get a lawyer.
You're still looking for a lawyer.
Isn't this so sad that the legal community knows that there's a force of power in this case? In other words, any other time, of course, people would jump forward to do pro bono or give you a very reduced fee to be in the news and all that. Any lawyer will want to do that. Right. They've all been warned.
Yeah,
this is a national security issue. Dana Durnford is a threat to the national security of the United States of America. Never mind Canada. This has nothing to do with Canada. This has to do with the Pentagon.
They don't want your children listening to me. They want your friends to hear me, or you, or Jeff, or anybody else for that matter. And that's the reality.
So this is the problem. The legal community's got to stand up for your rights, your human rights, your civil rights, your right to a fair trial, and a right to face your accusers.
Well, because they're standing up for their own, for God's sake.
Yeah.
He should have pro bono attorneys lined up right now.
Yeah.
But they're all running scared. That's the only possible answer.
Where is the ACLU when you need them?
Oh.
Yeah, where is the ACLU when you need them? This is so ridiculous. This is so black and white, a case of, I call it inquisition.
It is an inquisition. Sure it is.
Yeah. It's everything that justice is not. It's everything that law is not. And where is the rule of law? Completely absent.